cheer I waited for never came. My name echoed through the stadium speakers, Claire Emerson, master of data analytics. Hundreds of blue gowns rippled in the wind. Families shouted names, waved signs, cried. I walked forward to nothing. An usher at the aisle smiled politely. Family section? I shook my head. He lowered the velvet rope like a curtain falling on a bad play. The reserved for family row shimmered under the sun. 12 empty metal chairs, reflecting light straight into my eyes. I blinked against it as if that could make the truth disappear. I forced a smile, the kind you practice in mirrors when no one's watching, and took the diploma. The camera flash popped, click freezing, a perfect lie in pixels. You can't see the empty row in that photo. You can't see the way I gripped the folder, pretending the pressure in my chest was pride. But later, I'd frame that photo anyway, proof I showed up, even when they didn't. Around me, joy bloomed like confetti. Mothers cried. Fathers lifted daughters into hugs. Someone yelled, "We're so proud of you." Ruby, my classmate, spotted me through the crowd. "Claire, you did it?" She squealed, pulling me into a selfie with her parents. Her mom's hand rested warmly on my shoulder. "We're so proud of you, sweetheart." It landed like a bruise. Ruby looked around. "Where's your family?" "Running late," I lied. The lie slipped out smooth, well rehearsed. By the time I reached the parking lot, the sky had started to fade into gold. Balloons bobbed above car roofs. A boy ran past holding sunflowers too big for his hands. I sat in my beat-up Corolla, diploma on the seat beside me, staring at the framed rows of laughter through the windshield. For a heartbeat, I imagined them walking toward me, mom waving, dad holding flowers, Avery laughing. But the image shattered with the sound of a car door slamming nearby. I turned the key, drove away, and told myself I should be used to this by now. But I wasn't. Not even close. Dean kissed my fingers as I poured another latte, and my phone buzzed on the counter. A message from Mom. "Avery's costume fee due? You're a lifesaver." I bled milk into the cup, typed one word paid, and hit send. That's how love works in my family. Every thank you came with a price tag. At 16, I learned that affection was just another transaction. Mom always sent the messages, Dad stayed silent. His silence meant permission. On recital night, Avery spun under the cheap stage lights, sequins catching every color. I clapped from the back row, still in my coffee apron, hands stinging from burns and applause. After the bows, Mom pressed a form into my palm. "They won't release the photos till we pay." I swiped my card right there in the lobby. Avery hugged me afterward, glitter dusting my sleeve. She wasn't cruel, just caught inside the system that fed on my yes. Years later, when my grad school acceptance hit my inbox at midnight, I cried into my pillow and called home. "Mom, I got in." Her voice came calm, almost distracted. "Proud of you, but rent's on you this time." I could hear Dad in the background muttering, "Your mother's right." That's all he ever said. Enough to stay safe on her side. I told myself success would fix it, that if I climbed high enough, she'd finally see me. But if she didn't see me broke, she wasn't gonna see me brilliant either. So I worked, saved, paid, breathed. Every month, a new emergency. A field trip, a bill, another favor wrapped in guilt. Until 3 days after graduation, when the message came again, no greeting, no congratulations, just numbers. Need $5,000 for Avery's Sweet 16. Friday. It wasn't a request this time. It was an order. And in that moment, I realized love had stopped being currency and turned into debt. The message came like a bill from the past, clean, emotionless, due immediately. "Mom, need $5,000 for Avery's Sweet 16. You know how important this is for her." No hi, no how was graduation. Just digits and guilt. A few seconds later, a voice note followed her tone, soft, weaponized sweetness. "Don't make me choose between my daughters, Claire. You've always been the responsible one." I stared at it. The phrase she used every time she needed something. I almost typed back, "You chose years ago." But instead, I opened my banking app. $3,047 left in savings. Rent is due next week. I tapped send $1. In the note, I wrote, "Congrats." For a full minute, I just watched the word sent glow on the screen. Then I walked to the front door, opened the drawer, and pulled out the spare key. The one Mom called for emergencies. They'd used it once to a.m. unannounced. "Just checking on you." I pretended not to hear the cabinet's opening. This time, I dropped the key into the trash. The sound it made, soft metal against paper, felt louder than any fight we'd ever had. That night, I called a locksmith. He arrived in under an hour, tools clinking like wind chimes. While he worked, I made tea I didn't drink. When he left, I stood in the doorway, staring at the new lock, silver, solid, mine. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was earned. For the first time in my life, my apartment belonged to me, not as a space, but as a boundary. I thought that was the end of it. But peace doesn't last long when people mistake access for love. The knock came just as the coffee finished brewing, firm, steady, official. For a moment, I thought it was the landlord, maybe a package. But when I looked through the peephole, 2 uniforms filled the frame. Denver police. My stomach turned cold. I opened the door halfway, my voice barely steady. "Yes?" The taller officer, polite but professional, held up his badge. "Miss Reed, we received a call from your mother. She's concerned you've been acting radically. Said you changed your locks and stopped answering calls. She's worried you might hurt yourself." For a second, I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable it hurt. "She did what?" I asked quietly. He sighed, the kind of weary exhale from someone who's seen too many messy families. "We just need to confirm you're okay." "Can we step inside?" They walked in, scanning the small apartment spotless. A mug on the table, a laptop open with my resume, my framed diploma hanging straight on the wall. The officer asked the standard questions, soft but precise. "Any thoughts of self-harm today? Trouble sleeping? Appetite okay?" I met his eyes and said, calm as steel, "Only self-preservation, officer." The younger one cracked a faint smile before writing something on his pad. They checked my ID, logged the visit, and looked around one last time. "We'll file this as no concern," the older one said, handing me a small white card. "But if she calls again, we'll have to log it. You can reference this report number." His tone carried quiet empathy, the kind that almost made me break. Almost. As they left, my neighbor's door cracked open down the hall. Her eyes wide, her mouth ready for gossip. I didn't look back. I just closed my door and leaned against it, heart pounding, breath shaking between anger and disbelief. My mother hadn't just called the police, she'd tried to weaponize their concern. She'd taken my no and turned it into a crisis. A performance for control. When I finally moved, the card was still in my hand, its ink catching the light like a warning. I set it on the table beside my coffee, the words "case number 2478B" staring back at me. For years, I'd been the one who reacted, the one who obeyed. But not anymore. I looked at that card, at my reflection in the mug beside it, and whispered to myself, "You started this, Mom. Now I finish it." The next morning, the city outside my window looked soft, pale light, quiet streets, the kind of calm that usually helps you breathe. But I couldn't. My phone sat face down beside last night's police report. I hadn't heard from her since the officers left, but I knew my mother too well. Silence wasn't peace. It was a strategy. I brewed coffee, opened my laptop, and tried to lose myself in job applications. Instead, I opened my banking app. 2 new notifications blinked back at me, new credit inquiries detected. My stomach dropped. Capital One. Discover. I hadn't applied for anything new. I clicked through to my credit report, and there it was. 2 fresh accounts, both under my name, both using my social security number and my parents' address. My chest tightened. I clicked into the transaction history. Thousands spent already. The names hit like small explosions. Cherry Creek events. Denver DJ agency. Glam studio. Every charge spelled the same thing, Avery Sweet 16. The text flashed back in my head. Need $5,000 for your sister's party. It wasn't a request. It was a setup. I called the number on the statement, trying to keep my voice steady. "This is Claire Emerson," I said. "I need to report identity theft." The woman on the line sounded polite, professional. "Can you verify your information?" I did. Name, birthdate, SSN. There was a pause, the kind that means trouble. She cleared her throat. "Miss Emerson, this account was opened in person at our Littleton branch last month. Co-applicant listed as Linda M. Emerson." My vision blurred. "Linda, my mother." The rep's voice softened. "We'll flag the accounts for fraud. You'll receive forms within 24 hours. "Thank you," I whispered, though the words felt hollow. When the call ended, I sat in silence, staring at the open tabs on my screen. My credit report, the police visit record, the account numbers. It was all there. Proof. She hadn't just used me. She'd become me. I opened my phone's voice recorder. Colorado was a one-party consent state. That meant I could legally record her. I hit record, dialed her number, and waited. She answered on the third ring, voice sharp and fake sweet. "So, you're alive?" "Mom," I said, calm. "I found 2 credit cards under my name. Both opened with your address. Do you want to explain that?" She laughed, that hollow sound she used when cornered. "Oh, that? I was helping you build credit. You should be grateful. It's for your future and your sister's party." "Stop," I said. "You forged my signature." "Oh, Claire, stop dramatizing. It's family money. What's yours is ours." I inhaled, steady. "No, what's mine is mine. And what's yours is under investigation." The silence that followed was long and sharp. Then her voice cracked. "You wouldn't dare." "I already did," I said, and hung up. I saved the recording. Named it Boundaries, May 16, 2025. Outside, morning light spilled across the floor, catching the edge of my diploma and the new lock on the door. 2 pieces of proof that I'd earned everything on my own. And for the first time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt powerful. I picked the diner on purpose, halfway between their house and my place. The kind of place where the coffee never tastes fresh, and the booths are cracked, but private enough to end something that's been dying for years. They arrived 15 minutes late. Of course. My mother walked in, first floral dress, designer sunglasses, perfume that announced her before her words did. My father trailed behind her, smaller than I remembered. And Avery followed, tapping on her phone, thumbs flying like nothing in the world could touch her. "Claire," Mom said sharply, sliding into the booth across from me. "You really made us drive all the way here for dinner?" "We're not eating," I said, my tone flat. "We're talking." The waitress came by, poured coffee, and vanished. I slid a brown folder across the table. Inside were printed statements, copies of the fraud report, and screenshots of transactions from the cards she'd opened in my name. "2 credit cards?" I said. "Capital One and Discover. Both under my name. Both are tied to your address. Both used for Avery's Sweet 16. Mom smiled, that politician smile she wore when she lied. "Oh, that, honey. I did it for you. You need a credit history." I was helping. "Helping?" I echoed quietly. "You forged my signature." She waved her hand, dismissive. "Don't make this dramatic. It's family. You've always been so ungrateful. Do you think the world doesn't know who paid for your education?" I laughed, sharp, humorless. "You mean me? I paid for it. Every loan, every shift, every sleepless night while you used my college fund for Avery's dance recitals?" Avery rolled her eyes. "Here we go again." I turned to her. "That silver dress you wore last weekend? You danced in it on a card opened in my name? Enjoy the spotlight." Her fingers froze over her phone. "Mom said you agreed Enough, Mom snapped. Her voice cracked through the air like glass breaking. You don't talk to your sister that way. I didn't steal from you, Claire. I borrowed for the family. No, I said softly. You used my identity. You called the police on me because I changed my locks. You tried to paint me unstable to keep control. That ends today. Dad finally spoke, voice small, tired. Sweetheart, your mother just got carried away. Let's not blow this up. We can fix it privately. I pushed the folder closer. There's no fixing it privately. The bank already knows. The accounts are frozen. The investigators have your signatures, your phone numbers, and your address. You'll be hearing from them soon. The air went still. Even the hum of the diner dimmed. Mom's fake calm was shattered. You did what? She hissed. I reported the fraud. You'll regret this, she said, eyes narrowing. You're destroying this family over a misunderstanding. I stood up, slipping my phone into my pocket. No, Mom. You destroyed it the moment you decided my name was worth more to you than my love. I dropped a few bills on the table for the untouched coffee. You taught me that boundaries were betrayal. Turns out they're survival. Outside, rain started to fall, faint and rhythmic against the window. I stepped out into it without looking back. The door closed behind me, soft, final, and for the first time, I didn't feel like running. That night, the city glowed under a soft drizzle. Across town, banners shimmered under neon lights. Avery's Sweet 16, born to shine. I wasn't invited, of course. I didn't need to be. At 8:42 p.m., my phone buzzed. A new voicemail from a Colorado number. Miss Emerson, this is Lauren Stein from Capital One's legal department. The bank has escalated your fraud report. We've coordinated with local law enforcement to verify transactions connected to tonight's event at Cherry Creek Events. You're not required to attend, but we wanted to notify you. I ended the call and just sat there, watching rain streak down the window. Somewhere downtown, a party was about to turn into an investigation. 40 minutes later, my phone lit up again. Avery, are you insane? The police just showed up. Everyone's staring. Mom's freaking out. They're saying your name? The bank guy said your name? What did you do? I didn't reply. I didn't have to. Somewhere across Denver, the music cut mid-beat. Two officers walked into a ballroom full of silver balloons and sequined dresses. A man in a suit followed, carrying a folder of receipts. The crowd murmured as the DJ's voice faltered. Good evening, one officer said, calm and professional. We're here to verify a report of credit card fraud associated with this event. The charges were made under the name Claire Emerson. Gasps rippled through the room. Someone whispered, Isn't that her daughter's name? My mother stood near the cake pail, frozen, the spotlight catching every crack in her mask. There must be a mistake, she stammered. The banker opened the folder. Primary applicant, Linda Emerson. Cosigner unauthorized. The silence was brutal. Cameras lifted. Flash, flash, whisper. Avery stared at her mother, voice trembling. Mom, what did you do? The officer's tone stayed even. No arrests tonight. Just verification for the bank's case. But everyone in that room knew what had just happened. Within minutes, guests slipped out one by one, sequins, heels, whispers trailing behind. The Born to Shine banners sagged under the damp air, half collapsed, half forgotten. And outside, rain started again. I watched it all from my apartment window, miles away, lightning flickering faintly above the skyline. I didn't smile. I didn't cheer. I just let the quiet sit. Because justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. 3 days later, the case closed. An email arrived. Fraud investigation resolved. Primary applicant Linda M. Emerson acknowledged unauthorized use and agreed to repay $8,412 in full. No apology, no drama, just proof. In Littleton, word spread fast. at church, in grocery aisles. Did you hear about the Emersons? Someone whispered. The Sweet 16, the police. I didn't answer any calls, didn't send a text, didn't need to. I filled out the final FTC forms, froze my credit, and closed every account they'd ever touch. Then I pinned three things on my wall: my diploma, the fraud resolution letter, and the locksmith's receipt. Proof of effort, proof of protection, proof of freedom. 6 months later, fall wrapped Denver in gold. I'd started a new job, stable hours, quiet mornings, coworkers who called me Claire, not sweetheart. My walls were lined with art instead of expectations. Some nights, I'd brew tea and open the window, watching the city lights flicker like tiny promises. And when the wind carried faint music from downtown, I didn't think of that night anymore. I thought of the lock on my door and how it never turned without my permission. If you've ever had to set a boundary just to breathe again, you're not alone. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from forgiveness. It comes from changing the locks. If this story stings, maybe you've lived it. Maybe family only calls when they need. Here's what I learned. You can't heal where you're hurt for sport. Peace isn't granted, it's protected. Sometimes strength is quiet. The first, no, you don't explain. If you've been shamed for protecting your peace, you're not cold. You're finally free. Subscribe for more stories that say what you couldn't. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors, and you choose who walks through.